Grab your N95 mask, stay 6 feet apart. Delta 5 is running rampant in this week's episode. We're going into Dead Space. Starring Bryan Breaking Bad Cranston, Marc Beastmaster Singer, and Laura May Subspecies Tate. Dead Space is something you've already seen, but still worth a watch. So what's this movie about? Let's head on down to Phaebon to find out. Actually, I think we should talk about what this movie isn't. This isn't your son's Dead Space. No, it's your granddaddy's. Granddaddy Roger Corman, to be more specific. Dead Space is ultimately just a cheaper remake of Roger Corman's movie Forbidden World from 10 years earlier. Dead Space starts off with a distress signal. Sound familiar? It should, because what better way to start off some of our favorite sci-fi horror flicks than with some distress. Anyways, space cowboy Captain Krieger and his robot sidekick Tin Pan are sent to a remote research lab on Saturn's moon to aid with a terrible accident. We soon learn about the weird science going down on Saturn. Weird science. Bryan Cranston and his fellow scientists have been working on a cure for the Delta 5 virus. As usual, the good intentions of science birth a monster instead of a cure. It's up to Captain Krieger, Tin Pan, and a bunch of nerds to defeat the nearly indestructible creature. Dead Space is an all too familiar creature feature, and certainly a product of its time. But that's okay, we love the cheese anyways. The set design is typical of sci-fi B-flicks on a shoestring budget, but are sure to charm anyways. My personal favorite is a cold blue tone corridor, filled with enough CRTVs to make any retro gamer jealous. The robot sidekick Tin Pan is a quirky, lovable goof. Tin Pan's head looks pretty cool, but that's about the peak of his design. He's not the most useful robot sidekick, but at least he knows where the fire's at. You know what I love more than robots? Trivia. The robot's name Tin Pan was inspired by Tin Pan Alley, a hangout for New York musicians in the 90s. Steve Austin is credited as an apprentice editor for the film, and is also the name of the character who becomes the $6 Million Man. If I claimed he wasn't a wrestler, I'd be a stone-cold liar. The first appearance of Tin Pan walking shows him stiff with knees locked. Later in the film, he walks with no issues bending the knees. You might recognize the opening spaceship battle, and that's because it's recycled footage from another Corman classic, Battle Beyond the Stars. The director Fred Gallo didn't even see the script for this movie until the first day of shooting. I don't think it would have made a difference though, considering this film was made in just 17 days. Captain Krieger ventures out of the airlock without wearing a mask or a helmet immediately after he's informed that the planet's atmosphere is highly toxic. One of Dead Space's original film titles was Biohazard, but I don't think that would sit too well with Resident Evil's Japan market. Thanks for tuning in to Airlock Shock. If you've enjoyed today's content, be sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment through the air vent. Make sure you ring that bell notification button to stay up to date with our Nightmare Fuel future. Tune in to our sister series, Tape Tomb, featuring Larry Downs. He's constantly adding new horror VHSs to the tomb. I'm Nick Haskin of Nightmare Fuel Streaming, and until next time, stay spacey, partner.